Morning.
Everything is a problem for this poor girl. She is suffering, getting up, going to work, all of that. It's a struggle. And life is a struggle. It really is. If you thought life was going to be easy, you were wrong. Dead wrong. It's important for you to recognize the reality of life. Life is not easy. You need to grow a pair of something. You need to buckle up, hold on tight, and be resilient if you want to have a great life. If you expect life to be smooth sailing, you are going to have a miserable time on this planet. Let me go through 6 of the things that makes life tough. And like I said, in the end, I'm going to pull it all together and tell you how you can still live a happy life. Because Dr. D Nice, I'm a happy person. Doesn't mean that I haven't gone through stuff. It just means that I just don't let things penetrate deep into my soul. I understand fully that these 6 things are a part of life. And when they come, I accept them. I lean into them. It doesn't mean that I'm not sad and I don't cry sometimes. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I don't let it ruin my whole existence. I don't wish for death when these things happen because I know 100% these 6 things are a part of life. And if you don't understand that these 6 things are a part of life, I don't know what to tell you. Your parents have failed you altogether. Let's get into it. Number 1, life is hard because there is sickness. Our bodies are mortal. They will slowly degrade and fall apart. Is it methylation? Man, I could get all scientific. There are things that happen at the end of these genes that will cause them to fall apart. There is a time limit on our existence. No one will live forever, and that's where sickness comes in. Unfortunately, there's cancers, there's asthma, there's pneumonia, there's allergies, there's arthritis, there's acne, there's alopecia, there is decay of your teeth. All these things exist. There is no way you can go through life without experiencing some sort of illness. Maybe it's on a small scale. Maybe it's on a large scale. Something that takes you out. You have to be in a hospital on medication. It's there, and you must accept that. Now, of course, you don't have to hasten illness. Sometimes we downing 16 Snicker bars a day and don't expect diabetes to come knocking at your door. No. There's some preventive illnesses. Altogether, there is still illness in this world, and you must accept that. That is a part of our human existence. If you do not, I promise you will be miserable. If you think you're going to go through life without having a scratch on your pinky finger, sucks to be you. You are going to have a miserable existence. Number 2, life is tough. Life is hard. Things are tough. But my friends, you must be tough. There's whatever. Death. I've done many videos before about death. I've talked about the stages of grieving, the stages of loss, how to process the death. That is tough. Someone is there and then they are no more. You can't speak to them. You can't hug them. You can't call them on the phone. You can't text them. None of these things can happen anymore. And unfortunately, people will go through all kind of some very strange things to reconnect with their loved ones that have passed away. They will pay big money to Sister Terry, some soothsayer, or what are those other people called? Fortune teller, bald person, that seance person that can connect with that other person in the afterlife to send you a message. Foolishness. That is because you all have not accepted the reality of death. With life, there comes death, and this person is no more. You can no longer connect with them as if they were living. Spare your money and understand that with life, it's tough, and death is absolutely a part of it. It doesn't make it easy when somebody dies. Doesn't mean that you don't acknowledge the loss. Just means that you acknowledge that people can die. Some people go around never thinking that death occurs. It is what it is. I'm telling you right now, life is tough. You must understand that these 6 things are part of what makes life tough, and you must fortify yourself against them. Number 3, loss. You will lose things. You will lose your favorite CD player from the 80s. Y'all even know what a CD player is. You will lose your favorite necklace. You will lose your graduation certificate, your diploma. You moved halfway across the country and you forgot it in a package, and the package went flying off in the back of the truck, the pickup truck, because you didn't put it in the right thing. You go lose stuff. I told you all the story before, how I lost my green card when I first came to this country, and I lost my first paycheck working at McDonald's. A lot of things. You will lose things. Let me know in the comment section below, what of your most favorite thing have you lost before? Sometimes it's not even lost. Somebody just straight up took your stuff. Things will no longer be in your life anymore. We've talked about the removal of a person. Now with loss, you can lose things, objects that you care about, objects that were sentimental to you, either that they were destroyed or they got misplaced or they just decayed, because they're just like human beings. Things decay and rust and are gone forever. There will be loss of items. Prepare yourself for it. I'm not saying that none of these things don't hurt. That's not what I'm saying. Please believe, trust and believe. Dr. D Nice is not telling you to be a callous human being with no feelings. Oh, well, it's gonna happen anyway. No big deal. No. I'm just telling you to understand that this is absolutely a part of human existence. And if you don't know that this is something going to happen, it's going to blindside you. The first time you lose something, the first time somebody dies, the first time you get sick, what is that? How did that happen? My mama didn't tell me that stuff like this happened. Because you've been isolated in this little bubble of life that you don't even understand some of the reality of things, that there are people out there that are struggling, and you've been kind of in your little bubble. You never were made able to see some of the things that are out there with life. Okay, that's number 3, loss. Number 4, life is tough. There'll be failure. And this is your fault. You have just messed up. You have failed yourself, or things just did not work out the way you expected it. Even you did your absolute best and it just did not work out the way you expected it. You failed. Straight up failed. It happens. It happens. And if you're not ready for failure, if you don't understand that failure is a part of life, the first time something happens like that, you may end up wanting to remove yourself from this planet, self-deleting, because you're just not understanding that some of these things happen. You straight up messed up and failed. Stuff that you spent your whole 3 years planning and plotting and studying for your MCAT and straight up did horribly. My story. I did horrible on my MCAT. Absolutely devastatingly disgusting, to the point that some people did not invite me into their medical school the first year I applied. I had a whole timeline for my life of when I was supposed to go to medical school. I was going to be the youngest person in my medical school class. I was going to wear that as a badge of honor. Back then, there was Doogie Howser, the young MD guy, and I was going to be the girl, Doogie Howser. I was going to flaunt around, oh, oh, you're in medical school at 24. I'm only 20. I was going to be a whole 24-year-old finished doctor, done with medical school, and I was ready to wear that as a badge of honor. That's just not how it worked. I failed. I failed the MCAT, and if I had allowed that to penetrate into my soul, to ruin my spirit, to ruin my drive to become a doctor, I would not have become one. Failure happens. Failure is a part of life. There are lessons that you can learn from it. You dust yourself off and try again. You look and see what you did wrong and you fix it. All these kind of different things that you can do. This is beyond the scope of this specific video. I'm just telling you the things that could go wrong in life. I have lots of videos that talk about how to deal with failure, how to deal with death, how to deal with loss. I don't think I've done one on sickness. That's probably something I need to do a video about. Lots of information in our different shows, though. All you need to do is type in and go to the main channel. There's a search button. Type in the subject matter, and I promise you a video will pop up. We're at episode number 95. We've talked about a lot of things over the years. I promise you. And if you found a subject that you want me to talk about that you don't find a video on, just leave a comment in one of the videos, and I promise you I will make a video talking about it. Number 5, there'll be disappointment. Now, disappointment is different than failure to me. In my definition, some people may interchange the words. My definition of disappointment is somebody else failing you. They've made a promise to you, and they just straight up reneged on it. They played you. They played you to the absolute max. They just straight up lied. Maybe, you know what? Maybe they didn't even lie. They overpromised and underdelivered, and you are left hanging. You are left wanting because they have not fulfilled the promise that they gave you. That hurts. That expectation that you have set up, that they were going to write you that letter of recommendation, and now the date has come, June 23rd, that you needed that letter, and you can't even get them on the phone. They promised up and down, y'all were emailing back and forth and everything, and you had it on lock, and now it's time for them to send you that letter of recommendation, and you can't find them. The due date is today. You've been trying to reach them for like 3 weeks. And nothing, ghosted, nada. And now you can't even get into school because you needed that recommendation. People are going to disappoint you because humans are going to human. And it makes life hard. You got to live here with other human beings, and humans are going to human. You're going to disappoint other people. Trust and believe. And it's hard. When people are just like, I don't trust her no more because she promised that she would do this and she didn't do it. It's tough. Life is not easy. Number 6. This is our last one. A broken heart. Now, as human beings, we are meant to love and connect with other people, women with men, men with women, and in relationships, humans, and they will break your heart. They will not fulfill the promise they made to you to love and to cherish you. They will find somebody else to love and cherish. They're sneaking behind your back with other men or other women or both. And you are hurt. You hear that they have a kid and you didn't even know they had a kid, or they're married and you didn't even know they're married, and just all kind of mess. And they just break your heart, because there's something really deep about love where, is it an eros? They're different kind of love. I'm not talking platonic friendship love, like a romantic love. There's something very deep about it. This is like the love that's just was introduced in the very, very beginning of the Bible. And that love connects people into a oneness. And when that one half of you have just destroyed that connection, it tears you to pieces, even if y'all not even married yet. I mean, it's even worse if you got married, man. Disappointment of a broken heart is tough. Get your heart broken. Ooh, man. I remember the first time I got my heart broken. I mean, I had loved, piddly deed, little love here, little love there. But this one time, I'm not going to tell you what happened, but my heart was so broken. I took to my bed, first of all, for like a day or so. And then some friends were coming to visit, and I said, I think my friend and my sister were coming to visit me. And I said, well, let me go to the store to get them something. And I went to the store, got them the whatever groceries, oranges, apples, breakfasty bagels, whatever. And I had it in my hand. I came into the door, and I don't even know, like, it's all of a sudden like a memory just flushed over my body and flooded my soul. And I collapsed to the kitchen floor, just sobbing uncontrollably. My heart was broken. I was in residency. I couldn't even go to work. I took to my bed for like 2 days. It was just a hot mess. A broken heart is nothing to play with, and it will happen. That's life. There will be sickness. There'll be death. There'll be loss. There'll be failure. There'll be disappointment. There'll be brokenheartedness. And you must understand that life is tough. You must get resilience. Here are the first 3 steps to resilience. Like I said, we're not going to go in depth into them. There's a whole video I've had on how to be resilient, but I could not end this video with at least throwing out some things. One is recognize reality, which we've done. Understand that these things will happen to you in life. Don't be like, where'd that come from? No, you already know that these things are possibilities in life. Not that you're going around paranoid, like looking like, when is it going to happen? When the shoe going to drop? No, you live your life, and when these things happen, you're like, oh, well, there it is. Dr. D. Nice did say it was going to happen. Now let me work through the process of dealing with this loss, or dealing with this death or failure or disappointment. Recognize reality that these things could happen. Number 2 is make a positive move. Some sort of move. Don't sit there and wallowing in this grief from all those things that I mentioned. Make some sort of move. Go see a therapist, talk to a friend, study harder, something. And then last but not least, the 3rd step is connecting with love and connecting with another human being, talking these things through, connecting with God, who is the creator of your mind and your body, and fully understands that this is not how he meant for this world to be. This is all about all sin, why we all must suffer sometimes in life, why life can be so hard. But it doesn't have to be hard. The situation is hard, but if you there's a Bible verse that says, cast all your cares on God. He is strong enough. Now, that's not the part of the verse. The part of the verse that says, cast all your cares on him. But I'm just throwing it in there that God is strong enough to hold you up through all this grief, all this loss, all these failures and disappointments. I promise. Let me know in the comment section below, what part of life have you experienced any of these things yet? And let me know, how did you make it through it?